Hello and blessings, beautiful souls. It's Avalon. I'm not sure if I can actually change orientation. Alright, I can't. Right now I'm standing at a beautiful organic farm in a little place north of Hobart called Richmond. And last night I was forced to evacuate along with my elderly father and our little puppy. And we have been forced to evacuate due to horrendous bushfires or forest fires. And so at present, I have managed to pack as many of my most important or needed possessions. My husband and my 3 children went 3 days ago because the smoke was so intense. If you follow me on Instagram, I posted a short snippet of video and everything looked hot, orange and hazy, and I swear on my God that there was no filters used. That was the exact look of the day. And these forest fires came about due to horrendous storms, like lightning storms, and one struck quite close to our house. And there was always this sense of ominous because our puppy ran away that night, and I went out looking for it, and when I did, I saw this cluster of trees on fire in a most unusual way. And I was speaking to Gordon about it, and I said it looked surreal, the way that these trees were actually burning from the ground up. It looked quite surreal. The day following that was the eclipse, and that was the day that the orange sky took hold, and my kids were really concerned. So my husband packed the car and decided, just to say, hey, we're going to go on a camping trip. We're going to go on a fun camping trip to really distract their minds. And they left within a few hours of the smoke really getting quite bad. They left and they had no accommodation, and I was ringing around as they were driving out of town trying to find accommodation for a man, 3 children and a dog, which was not easy. And eventually I found this place that we're actually at now. It's not easy finding accommodation with pets, and our little puppy, he's quite small, he's a Jack Russell, and there's no way I was going to leave him behind, obviously. I had to leave the chickens behind, and that's like yesterday I went through and I topped up all the water, and I left doors open, and there's escape routes for them already planned, and I put as much grain down as I possibly could, topped up the incubator. We've got eggs in the incubator, and we have a little farm, so obviously there was nothing that we could do. It was a really emotional and stressful and difficult call to make, to just turn our back on everything. We made that call yesterday when we went to a community service meeting in the town centre. It was held at my at the local school where my kids usually go to school. And they were saying the opening phrase was, we're not sugarcoating it. Tomorrow is going to be an extreme fire hazard. We're expecting squally winds, gusts of winds, exceeding 50 kilometers an hour and up to 90 kilometers an hour. And it's going to push the fire directly in our way, towards our town. And the main concern was that embers from that fire were traveling 15 kilometers ahead of the main bushfire front, in which case, it's high summer here in Australia, and Tasmania is a temperate climate, and so the landscape looks a bit sunburnt and it's quite arid. So one ember on dry grass and you've got yourself the very beginnings of a fire. We are not formally equipped for bushfires, so stay and defend was not an option for us. We have 5 water tanks, but there is 0 water pressure, so if we were to need the hose to put out fires, we would just have next to no water pressure, so there was nothing that we could do. And making the decision to leave was really quite stressful, so I'm under a tremendous amount of emotional stress right now. But at the same time, I don't feel like I'm bound to my possessions, and if the house burns down with all of our possessions in it, all my tarot decks, all my statuaries, all my crystals, all my things, all my books, clothing, furniture and all of that sort of thing, in my mind while it's not ideal, they are replaceable, and my main concern was making sure that we took what was immediately necessary for us. So clothing, bedding, toweling, those kinds of things, and that was about it. So complete state of stress right now, because today is the day that the weather is predicted to be the worst, and I'm looking on all the websites and I can see that there is a massive red highlighter light over the top of our town and surrounding regions. We had to move cars around yesterday. We have, there was 2 of us, my father and I, plus a puppy, and we had 3 cars to try and accommodate. So my father and I, we've come here with 2 of the cars, but one of the cars we ended up having to park down at the marina, which was very well cleared and opposite the water, and just fingers crossed it would remain safe. But it's all very unusual and quite surreal, and I'm still in a hopeful place. I'm still in a state of potential disbelief. I'm not the type of person that experiences great doses of bad luck, and not that being in a bushfire is bad luck. I mean, being in a bushfire, that's an act of the gods. There's nothing much we can do about that. And because I have a positive relationship with fire, I like to look at fire as a cleansing, an opportunity to cleanse. So I'm trying to be as positive and as optimistic as I possibly can. I called my insurance company yesterday. We are fully insured for bushfire, which gives me a peace of mind. But we didn't overestimate on our insurance, and since taking out that insurance policy, we've accrued a few more items as far as beds and computers and furniture and camera equipment go. I've taken my camera equipment, my filming equipment, a couple of decks, and my iMac. So I've got, you know, computers with here. But it was hard to make the choice, to look around and to make the choice of what should I take? And I felt myself in an irrational state of mind when making that decision, as in like looking around, well, what's important enough for me to take? And when I went up to my cottage, I couldn't choose. I couldn't choose anything. So I just let my hands like just do it, and I pulled things and I filled up a little basket, and I took little things that I knew that I could use to make videos and to consistently work, because that would be ideal for me if I could just distract myself like that. So I took the things that were most like just there, like in a hectic frame of mind. We went to this town meeting at 1. I was sitting there next to Gordon and his partner, and we just looked at each other and we're like, okay, we're out. And Gordon left before me, and he was checking on me the whole time. And he was in town by around, I want to say, probably 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and we didn't leave until about 4, maybe a little bit later. I had a friend in town whose husband is working away, and she had 2 children, so I tried to make sure that I was done packing myself and see if she needed a hand. And I checked in on as many people as I could. I don't know that many people in town, but still I tried to check in on as many people as I could, and before I chose to leave. We were driving. We didn't get here until about 7 o'clock, 7:30 last night. So we're quite far away from the fires, but at the same time, it's no comfort, because I'm kind of in that, I'm disconnected, but I'm emotionally invested at the same time. So I keep checking the news, and I keep checking the apps and all of the things. So right now I'm just going to invest a little bit of time and energy in distracting myself. So I wanted to do this video so that you would know what was going on, and to let you know that I'm going to be, for most part, unavailable for the next couple of days, and potentially beyond that if things go really bad. If things get really bad and the worst happens, then I'm going to have my hands full, basically. And And with that said, I just wanted to say thank you to those who have sent me really nice messages. It means the world. I'm covered on Patreon. They have been diligently lighting the vigil candles, lighting their coven candles, and sending and saying prayers for me and my family, and for others in the area as well, because it's not just about me. Yes, I'm evacuated and I'm affected by this, but so are so many other people in so many other areas. So any thoughts and prayers for that area of Tasmania would be absolutely appreciated, and every little bit counts. And I'm just going to try and find a spot for my little puppy. We were only able to book it for 2 nights, so I want to take today, I want to use this opportunity to see if I can find boarding, some lovely comfortable boarding, because while he's welcome here, he keeps getting into little scuffles because he's quite little. He's only a couple of months old. He keeps getting into little scuffles with the local dogs, so it's and he chased, I think the local dogs all together got into a scuffle and scared them. And sorry about that, that was a connection issue. And it was very comforting to have a friend, like a good friend, and we were talking about, you know, mad appreciation, you know, just to have somebody else that, you know, is going through the same thing, that understands. So I'm really happy that my husband and my children are far away. They're actually having a lovely camping session. Mind you, my children are having a lovely time. My husband's mind is elsewhere, up there. And that's the main thing, is that the kids are okay. And you know, what can you do? What can you do? Just, I'm going to try and have a day and do a bit of meditation and practice some mindfulness. Really, we're quite far out of Hobart at the moment, so what I would like to do is organise accommodation today for puppy, and then we've got another night here tonight, and then potentially organise accommodation in the city. I'd rather be in Hobart, which is a little bit closer and a little more informed. I feel very connected, which is a very nice thing, but at the same time I feel too disconnected. Really need to know what's going on. And so this place is absolutely beautiful though, founded on pure fluke, and it's organic. It's a fully functioning organic farm, and so there's alpacas and ducks and sheep and horses, butterflies and bees and all sorts of beautiful creatures populating the landscape at the moment. And it's nice to sort of be here and settle a little bit. But I sort of, yeah, I'm in a state of flux at the moment. Good health though, just in case people were concerned. Yeah, I'm stressed, but you know, I eat well, I meditate, I feel very grounded and centered, and I'm just looking at things from a more constructive and a practical point of view. Important thing, I don't want to allow my emotions the best of me. Make sure that I fill my cup at the moment so that I'm not running on empty, and that I'm still standing on a platform of gratefulness, because I think that I have so many things to be grateful for, and I'm just, you know, fingers crossed that the situation today is not as bad, but if it is, then it's out of my hands and there's no dwelling on it. There's nothing I can do about it. So we're just, you know, one foot in front of the other, and love each other hard, and reach out to friends and make sure that they're okay, and then we'll decide what we need to do after that. So the main thing is that all peoples, all persons are safe. I'm still stressing about our little chickens at the farm. There's a sprinkler system in the farm. It's a relatively cleared area, and the actual farmhouse is made of glass and metal. And there's an opening for them to get out should the situation escalate gravely. But beyond that, there's very, 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 very little that we can do. So done the best. I know I saw people ferrying their horses, and I saw cattle wandering out of paddocks yesterday as residents were forced to leave, and they obviously couldn't take their cows and their sheep and all of that. Opening up the paddock door would have been just as hard a call to make. And my heart goes out to people who have, you know, fully functioning farms out there with a lot to lose. We're off-grid in little cabins, and it wasn't so bad for us in the sense that we only travelled down, you know, 6, 7, 8 months ago now, maybe. I'm losing count now. And we came with just 2 carloads of possessions, and so, you know, we already cut loose most of our things, and we live quite minimalistically. So yeah, it was stressful, but at the same time, it sometimes pays to be a bit of a minimalist, doesn't it? My kids yesterday, I spoke to them and they said, "Did you get my teddies?" And would you believe that I forgot their teddies? I didn't even know that they were there. So in the hustle of Matt trying to strip all the beds and take their blankets, I thought that they'd taken the teddies. And my oldest daughter, Savannah, was devastated when she found out that I didn't take the teddies. I tried to grab a bag full of the kids' toys, especially their favourite ones, so little dollies and you know, the little things that my daughters like to play with. My son got a Nintendo Switch for Christmas from Granddad, and I made sure to bring that. And yeah, it was hard just to look and go, what do I take? What do I take? Half thinking, is this redundant? Is this a redundant exercise? Am I going to be back here in a couple of days' time and everything's still going to be here, and then I have to unpack the car? Like, I liked to be in that state of mind as well, but at the same time, it's not functional. So I tried to do the right thing and made sure that I grabbed the essential. I have a blender in the back of my car. I didn't grab the water filter, but I grabbed the blender because it was expensive. And I thought, I'm just going to have to grab the blender, and left tripods and peripheral devices and tablets and stuff like that there. Bought some, left others, and just made like hard calls. It was actually interesting. If I grabbed a little basket of crystals, herbs and tarot decks and things like that, and I looked at what I bought and I thought, how intriguing. Wonder why I chose these things, because these are my least used decks, but my most beautiful ones, the ones that I covet the most, the ones that I think are amazing. So it puts me in a very interesting position to now work with these decks, because I am going to sit here and I am going to do some tarot journaling, and I am going to do some readings, obviously. I'm going to do readings. Gordon and I are running hot on readings, and we both did readings for this fire, and it was both scenarios were quite concerning. And it's just, again, it's really fun to have a fellow occultist / tarot reader in exactly the same position, with exactly the same amount of stuff to lose. You know, literally, it's scary. So yeah. All right, folks. Well, I'm gonna head off. Thanks for hanging out with me, and now that you know my story, you'll know why I am or am not present. I don't know. It actually gives me comfort reaching out, speaking to people and explaining the situation. So for anyone concerned, I have my bone stone sketches in the boot of my car at the moment. So the limited edition sketches that went with the bone stone were one of the first things that I put in the car. Just mad love to the bone stone crew. Just know that I'm not letting that get in the way of things. But right now I'm a bit stuck at the moment. So we're all safe, sound, as happy as can be expected, and I'm going to try and check in possibly on Instagram more, because it's a little easier. I just thought that I'd do this rather large update here on YouTube so that you all knew what was going on. But if you're keen to sort of see the developments, I'm going to be posting on Instagram, because it is just more functional for me to do so. So this is not me asking for Instagram followers, please know that. But if you do want to keep in touch, and if you do want to see what's going on, I'm going to be over there doing my thing. So much love and many blessings to you guys. Take care.